way to a woman's heart is through the church.
It's actually through the rib cage, but that's a bit messy. Do I look like I would bite you?
You bet not. Not after the day I've had.
You hungry? I'll run you down to KFC down the street and hit you off with a 2-piece.
I already had Italian. Interesting. I've been stabbed, and I've been hanged. Even broken on the rack once, but I've never been shot before. Kind of itches a little.
Ebro is good. Let me hear y'all say it. Ebro is good.
That's right.
Good evening. Welcome to this week's edition of the WayBack Movies Podcast, a show where we review the best and not so best of 80s and 90s cinema, because really, fuck the 2000s. My name is Steve, and with me on this crazy journey,
Justin.
Doctor. And we're back. And what we prophesized last week kind of came true. This is
Well, it's indicative of this show, as you'll actually get at the end of the show when we talk about our schedule. We don't really pay attention to our own shit.
No.
Let alone anybody else's.
Yeah.
Because we go on and on and on about how, we've been doing all these movies, and some have been bad, but, they're good bad, and we like them, and we'll give them good ratings either way, because we have rose-colored glasses, and all that good stuff. Mm-hmm. But we've never really done a movie that, both of us are just ooh. Not taking into account that this week's movie was just that.
Yeah.
A movie where we both could just go, ooh.
That's the thing, because I had seen this before.
Oh, I have to, yeah.
When it was current. So
I can't say that.
There is a reason.
I caught it on video later on.
There's a reason why I never watched it again, but I couldn't remember why.
Watching it now,
I remember why.
Yes.
So we're covering the Eddie Murphy quote-unquote passion project, not quite so much. Vampire in Brooklyn. A movie that I'm, full disclosure, trying to watch this movie was hard. I could not get into
teeth?
this. Yeah, I could not get into this movie. I constantly would stop it and do something else. Because I was just way not interested. We'll get into why as we go through the flick itself, but
we'll just jump right in.
This was a rough sit. So yeah, we're going all the way back to 1995 for Vampire in Brooklyn. Let's just go. Here we are in 1995.
October 27th. Close to Halloween. At least
it was a Halloween release.
At least they really, Vampire Halloween. It wasn't let's just put this vampire out in May.
True.
No. At least they tried to connect it to Halloween.
I have a question. Was this a horror movie?
I don't know.
Okay, then let me ask you this. Was it a comedy?
I don't know.
And therein lies the problem. I don't know what this movie was trying to be. And
this movie was trying to be two different things because Wes Craven and Eddie Murphy were making two different films.
Yeah, but ironically, it's not the way you think it is.
No, you think.
You'd think.
One would go with horror, one would go with comedy, but
That's not the making of this movie.
As Mr. John Witherspoon put it, they flip-flopped!
Yeah.
Flip-flopping on.
Now, well, you know what? Let me just get into it. Because it all explains itself in the future.
Notes.
So, yeah, just let me go to it. So, Vampire in Brooklyn, as you said, October 27th, 1995. Directed by Wes Craven. Story by Eddie Murphy, Vernon Lynch, and Charles Q. Murphy.
Charlie Murphy!
Yes, but this was before he just strictly went by Charlie Murphy. Screenplay by Charles Q. Murphy and Michael.
Murphy.
And keeping with my tradition of I'm going to give them the name that is quoted, and whether it's the name they go by later on, doesn't matter. Michael Lucker and Chris Parker. Producers Eddie Murphy and Mark Lipsky. Production company Eddie Murphy Productions, as you would expect.
So this really was a...
Kind of. We'll get to that in a minute.
He didn't direct it, but...
He's not a director. I don't know if he's directed anything. Some people just don't want to direct, and
they'll do everything else, but they won't sit behind the camera.
Everything I've heard, a director is a shitty job. All you want to be directors out there, apparently it sucks. So
be a PA.
No, don't be a PA. That's worse. But be a producer.
Yeah,
be a producer. Just you get to have your say done, but nobody asks you shit.
You're just the guy or girl that go, there's a problem, throw some money at it.
Kinda, yeah. Like, that's a little easier gig than the director going, okay, well, we need to do this. Which one do you want? Today. You gotta know the answers to this shit. And no, that's, I think, why I stopped wanting to be a director pretty quick. Distributed by Paramount Pictures, box office of $19.8 million against a budget of $14 million. You failed. You failed. And some of you
might have just broke even after video release.
No, probably not. Well, you know what? There is a following. There is an absolute following.
Probably made its money back, but it just took some time.
Yeah, like there's definitely a following. I don't know why. Other than
there's a following for every movie.
That's true. I will give you some credit. Some of the performances are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are ridiculous. But with that being said, the cast. Angela Bassett as Detective Rita Vedder. Eddie Murphy as Maximilian, Preacher Polly, and Guido. The start of Eddie Murphy's string of playing every character he can.
Not the start.
No, it is.
Coming to America.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, that was the
entire
yeah. Sorry, this is the second in the.
But this is what really got him going.
Yeah,
this is going for a.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Alan Payne as Detective Justice. He's one of the ones that didn't go so well. I mean, this is a dude who's got a one-note gig, and for the life of me, because I'm not an IMDb guy too often, so like when I see somebody on screen going, how do I recognize this asshole for? It takes me forever to think about it. And I remembered where I saw him, and I realized he's doing the same performance, and it's not good. He's in CB4.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, he was the angry guy in CB4. A movie I wish I was watching. Kadeem Hardison is Julius Jones. John Witherspoon, the great John Witherspoon, as Silas Green. Zakes Mokai, I did not say that right, as Dr. Zico. Joanna Cassidy as Captain Dewey, and Simbi Kali as Nikki. Again, probably didn't say that right either. Yeah. I've run out of Wes Craven facts.
Fair enough.
I may come up with some in the future, but at the moment, I'm out. I've read an entire book on
Wes
the man.
Craven fact, he's great.
He is. He's just awesome. Don't judge him by this movie.
Please.
Although,
not his movie.
I will say this. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He directed the shit out of this movie. It looks fantastic. I don't understand it, but it looks great. So, I'll give that to him. Anyway, so, how this train wreck came about... Eddie Murphy said, I've always wanted to do something where I was the villain in the movie. I love horror pictures, and I was a big fan of Wes Craven. So he had his agent contact Wes to direct the movie. Smart fucking move.
I want to be Freddy.
Yeah.
No.
Eddie. You can't be Freddy. There's already a guy
Come
doing
on,
that.
Eddie, Freddy.
Come on.
Like with the claw. I'd pay to see like an SNL...
I'm shocked it's never... I mean, there have been a lot of Freddy parodies. I mean, the most recent one being Rick and Morty of Scary Terry.
Yeah.
Probably the best one, just because he can't stop calling everyone bitch, which is genius. But yeah, there's been a ton. I mean, even Looney Tunes at one point was doing Freddy. I believe he was Eddie Cougar, and he was, Freddy, but a cougar. Pretty good episode, actually. This is a pretty strong Tiny Toons episode.
We're just like, let's just talk about
anything but
this.
Anything to talk about, anything else other than this shit. Even movies we're not covering. So the movie started out as something small and was just going to be produced by Eddie Murphy's production company.
Might have been better.
I doubt it. So let's see. As the screenplay was being further produced, Eddie thought it would be fun to play a villain, but he also felt still felt comfortable because he was able to play the preacher and Guido as well, so he was able to do funny characters, kind of keep him in his wheelhouse. So according to Charlie Murphy, and yes, that's how you have to say it, the movie was originally... I'm pretty confident it is in the books. The movie was originally going to be a straight horror film, with no laughs, but the studio didn't want Eddie Murphy playing evil, so they wanted to add comedic elements.
That actually might have been better.
Uh-huh. Well, that was what they were... I mean, a straight horror movie might have worked. I mean, Eddie wasn't strong, but he was alright.
Mm-hmm.
So they chose to keep Maximilian scary, but have comedic characters around him. They did too many. Wes Craven brought a different focus to it. He also said... Charlie Murphy's still talking. Maximilian wasn't going to have any redeeming qualities, but Wes taught us that we must get the audience to care about our characters. And even if they don't know any vampires personally, they would at least have to identify with the type of person he was. So that was somewhat successful, I think.
No one is ever 100% a dick.
Well, Freddy Krueger.
Yeah, but I think
they tried in the shitty remake to give him some kind of
here's the
quality,
thing with I think you just with those kind of faceless monsters.
Is he faceless?
Well, not faceless. You know what I mean.
He's the only one that's not faceless.
But you know what I mean. Like,
Jason had redeeming qualities. You know, he was just a child who was revenging his mother.
And I guess Michael Myers.
Michael Myers, no, he was just pure evil.
Right. Is it the slasher films that just like...
The slasher films try their best to sort of just... I think what John Carpenter sort of created was just... They're just faceless. Well, not faceless necessarily, but they're just evil incarnate.
Yeah.
And that's kind of their thing. But when it comes to...
This is not that.
No, this is something with a story, so the idea was you can't have him be just evil.
Plus, it's not serialized. There wasn't going to be...
Well,
even if it was successful...
I mean, they might have... I'm pretty confident Eddie Murphy could have been convinced to do another one.
Yeah.
If it was successful, of course. Where am I here? Eddie, being one of the most famous stars at the time, loved having makeup hiding his appearance, and would often walk off the lot and just walk around without being recognized.
Like as Guido or Preacher Paul?
Yeah, pretty much. He ended up continually doing that with Nutty Professor as well. But when we eventually talk about that, I'll tell that story too, because it's so cute. Filming lasted for 55 days. Only 3 of them were in New York. They went with the Jason Takes Manhattan role of filming shit.
Mm-hmm.
In a Rolling Stone interview, Eddie Murphy stated that he made this movie so that Paramount Studios would release the rights to the Nutty Professor to him.
And it shows.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll do your vampire picture, but which
is weird because it was his idea.
I'll do my vampire picture.
But he's just like, I'll do it, but I'm pretty sure by the time the script
Who goes kicking and screaming into their own project?
Eddie Murphy. This is a weird...
Fine, you're twisting my arm.
To make my movie.
I'll do my movie.
Like, I don't...
You know how many times people have been forced to do the studio's movie to get their passion project?
My thought...
You're doing your passion project to get your passion. That should tell you what kind of powers Eddie Murphy had in Hollywood at this time when his arm was being twisted to do his own shit. To get other shit made.
My guess on why this is because he had the rights to Vampire in Brooklyn. So he went to Paramount and said, we'll give you the next Eddie Murphy starring movie if you give me Nutty Professor. I don't think it was like, I'll make your stupid movie. I think it was, we'll give you the next Eddie Murphy picture. Because in 1995, that was worth its weight in gold.
Right.
For now.
We'll talk about it. No, I'll gladly talk about the decline of his star.
Oh, yeah.
The joke that got David Spade fired. Oh, look, everyone. A falling star.
Yeah, it's true. This is the last movie he and his brother Charlie wrote until 2007's Norbit.
Oh, you mean the movie that cost him an Oscar?
Yeah. These two shouldn't have worked together.
Nope.
That's all I'm saying. I should have moved this up further. I forgot, because I don't want to have this, because we're going to be making fun of shit, but... Stunt performer Sonia Davis, who was doubling for Angela Bassett, was fatally injured performing a 42-foot backward fall.
It is always dangerous to be a stunt person.
I forgot. I wanted to move that up higher because then the jokes could continue. Eddie states the reason the movie was a failure was because of the wig he wore. He said people must have looked at that thing and said, oh, get the fuck out of here. What the hell is this? That was a terrible Eddie Murphy impression. Yeah. But also, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, that's just him, like, grasping at straws of, like, why your film failed.
I hope. Wes was more logical when he said...
It sucked.
Yeah, well, kind of. This was kind of a screwed up thing. I suppose it could have been better if it were a horror movie.